So for this explain lesson, what we're going to be doing is we're flying out of Seattle Tacoma International Airport with the Cessna 172 in clear conditions during the day. But we're on the tarmac here, and what we're going to do is we're going to keep the brakes engaged. We're going to throttle up and increase flight flaps slightly for additional lift. After that, we're going to release the brakes, making sure our mouse is slightly to the right to avoid veering off to the left. And what we're going to do is we're going to wait until we've reached our takeoff speed, which is about 75 knots, but with flaps, we're going to wait until 80 just for a bit of extra lift and less likely chance of stalling. So we're at 80 now. What we're going to do is we're going to pull the mouse down and pitch up and take off. Now that we've gotten sufficient airspeed to maintain lift, we're going to go ahead and we're going to retract the flaps like so. And just like that, we've taken off. So for this explain lesson, what we're going to be doing is the same as before. We're going to be flying out of Seattle Tacoma in the Cessna 172, except this time we're going to be testing 3 different weights. What we're going to do is turn on a display for speed, weight on landing gear, and distance travelled. So we're going to do what we've done before, which is first of all, we're going to change the weight to 296 for this test, and after that what we're going to do is we're going to throttle up, release the brakes, and take off. Now that we are in the air, what we're going to do is we're going to pause and we're going to check the data page and have a look at the different speed at which we took off, the distance that was travelled for takeoff, all by looking at the force on the landing gear, and we are going to repeat that for 600 and 900 pounds. For this flight to learn lesson, what we're going to be looking at is how lift decreases as the plane is ascending or climbing, as shown by the arrows on the wings.
For the next part, we're going to see here how the landing gear affects the airspeed as it's lowered. As you can see, when it's being lowered, the airspeed in the top left hand corner is decreasing. And for the final part, what we're going to see is as we lower the flaps, we're going to see airspeed decrease, drag and lift also will increase at the same time, and this will vary depending on the flap settings we use. So for this flight to learn lesson, what we're going to be doing is landing Cessna 172 at Seattle, Tacoma. What we're going to be doing is looking towards the Pappy beacon. So have two white, two red to make sure that we are at an ideal level when approaching. All white means we're too high, all red means we're too low. We've reduced our revs down to about 1600 RPM and we're about 80 knots coming in on landing. And on touchdown, what we want to do is throttle down and apply the brakes to make sure we come to a controlled stop. So for this flight to learn lesson, what we're doing is we're looking at the lift vectors when the plane is both diving and ascending or climbing. So when climbing, you'll see the lift arrows go up, and when descending, you'll see the lift arrows go down. And we're going to repeat this a number of times just to show how it's working. For this flight to learn lesson, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the wingspan and we're going to be changing it from starting at 50, going down in tens all the way down to 10 feet. And what we're going to see is how the distance needed for takeoff changes and the speed needed is also changed. So for this flight to learn lesson, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be testing the takeoff distance for aircraft with different wingspans. So the wingspans we're doing are 15, 30 and 60 feet, and we're going to compare the takeoff distance between each wingspan.
So for this flight to learn lesson, what we are doing is we are comparing the cruising speed of an aircraft with a different wingspan and different horsepower levels. So the horsepower levels we're using are 150, 300 and 600 brake horsepower, and the comparison is all in the the cruising speed.